Hey y'all. Remember during I think it was two streams ago when I mentioned about the oil reserves from the United States heading overseas and with the majority of it going to China. Well, I got this story here from my brother in arms, Irv C1. Shout out, bruh. And I'm gonna share it with you. Okay, y'all see what it says. Now, the source of this story is International Business Times. Their website is ibtimes.com. I for international, B for business, times.com. All one word, common spelling. Now, you see the date on it. It was the 5th, which was last week. But and that's when he gave it to me like right after, but I just been so freaking busy and everything in my house decided it wants to fall apart at the same time. So I had all that stuff to address. But anyway, let's go ahead and roll with it. Oil from U.S. reserves head overseas as gasoline prices stay high. Oh, you're going to love the next story. You're going to love the next story that follows this one here, because you figure, okay, you done cap the Keystone, y'all stop the Keystone oil pipeline. You done cap the Eagle Ford that we've been drawing oil off of since they re-drilled everything down here. Now you sending petroleum reserves from our strategic, strategic oil reserves overseas, and then you gonna pull a suck-headed stunt that I'm gonna share with y'all after this. And when I say, and it ain't us doing it, it's the so-called leadership we have here. You see this is Brian Mound's Strategic Petroleum Reserve and Oil Facility, seen in an aerial photograph over Freeport, Texas. I can't tell you how many times I've been to Freeport, Texas. I've never been in this facility, but I've been to Freeport quite a few times. More than 5 million barrels of oil that were part of a historic U.S. emergency oil reserves release aimed at lowering domestic fuel prices were exported to Europe and Asia last month. According to the data and sources, even as U.S. gasoline and diesel prices touch record highs. The export of crude and fuel is blunting the impact of the moves by U.S. President Side Row Joe designed to lower record pump prices. Biden on Saturday renewed a call for gasoline suppliers to cut their prices while he's giving our oil away, drawing criticism from Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. I don't follow him that closely, but does Bezos, y'all can tell me because I'm not a Twitter, whatever. Does he normally throw his hat in the ring on political talk? But I can imagine how much his fuel bill is to run all them Amazon trucks. Because, yeah, you got some this owner operators that's delivering packages in their own trucks. But the lion's share of the trucks are his. And trucks run on diesel. And diesel is higher than gasoline. Just saying. Anyway. Onward, about 1 million barrels per day is being released from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve through October. The flow is draining the SPR, which last month fell to the lowest since 1986. But y'all say that the president don't have nothing to do with the flow of oil and fuel prices. You have to be a full-blown libtard to actually believe that. But they only believe that when the president is a Republican. But when the president is a Democrat, he ain't got nothing to do with it. Grunt, grunt, grunt. For talking monkeys. Yeah, read your Old Testament. Talking monkeys. The translation. Talking monkeys. U.S. crude futures are above 105 per barrel, and gasoline and diesel prices above $5 a gallon in 1/5 of the nation. Gasprices.aa.com. U.S. officials have said oil prices could be higher if SPR had not been tapped. Yeah. And now, if you believe that, go right ahead. The fourth largest oil refiner, Phillips 66, shipped about 470,000 barrels of sour crude from Big Hill SPR storage site in Texas to Trieste, Italy, according to U.S. Customs data. I know I'm saying it wrong. Trieste is home to a pipeline that sends oil to refineries in Central Europe. Atlantic Trading and Marketing, an arm of French oil major Total Energies, exported 2 cargoes of 560,000 barrels each, the data showed. Phillips 66 declined to comment on trading activity. ATMI did not respond to a request for comment. Yeah, because no matter what they say, they're going to fry. So I guess if I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't, I ain't saying nothing. So you're going to have to speculate because I didn't tell you that. Well, you didn't answer. Yeah, but I didn't tell you that. So anything you say is pure speculation. I ain't past the bar, but I know a little bit. Y'all know who said that in his rap song. The cargoes of SPR crude were also headed to the Netherlands and to a Reliance refinery in India, an industry source said. A third cargo ship headed to China, another source says. At least one cargo of crude from the West Hackberry SPR site in Louisiana was set to be exported in July, a shipping source added. Crude and fuel prices would likely be higher. Yeah, you said that already. If SPR release, see that makes no sense. And I like to think that I'm a pretty smart guy. So instead of paying a tanker company, and y'all, I don't know if y'all know this, I said it before, but it's easily researched. Greece is the largest oil and fuel petroleum and distillates tanker country on the planet. Is Greece. Greece got a death grip on petroleum transportation on the open seas. They got it in a death grip. You go up to Greece, please, sir, I need another tanker. What? Oliver Twist, please, sir, I need some more. Now, you think it's okay, so we're going to take oil out of our strategic reserves, pay the Greeks to put it on tankers and send it to countries overseas. And somehow that's going to lower the fuel prices instead of taking that same oil, leaving it here. So you're not paying the Greeks. It's staying here on our shores and going to our refineries on this side in our own station. So that cuts a giant notch out of your transportation costs because is way down. You can't tell me that it costs that it's cheaper to send it overseas and do all this other stuff than it is to send it to a refinery in Louisiana from the strategic reserve location in Louisiana, or send it to one of the buku refineries we have here in Texas from the strategic oil reserve place here in Texas. And we got a couple of them too. That ain't the only strategic oil reserve location we have in Texas. Okay. This is double speak. This is word salad. This is political hopscotch. That's what this is. This is mental hopscotch. But they just throw that out there, but they can't tell you how. The latest exports follow 3 vessels to carry SPR crude to Europe in April, helping replace Russian crude supplies. Y'all know what's going on with that. U.S. crude inventories are the lowest since 2004 as refineries run near peak levels. Refineries in the U.S. Gulf Coast were at 97.9% utilization, the most in 3.5 years. Yes, because the EPA does everything they can to scuttle anytime another refinery tries to come online, no matter how remote they make it, no matter how much money they dump into these brokers' coffins, it never happens. And president, after congressman, after senator, after state rep, after Department of Energy official waved their finger at the oil industry. I'm not saying the oil industry is clean, but when somebody has a spot on their shirt and you look like you just finished wrestling with a pig, the last person that can talk about somebody having dirt on them is you. Okay? Now, check this crap out. Now, y'all just heard all this. Now, check this muck out. So, since Joe, hey, well, we need to take from the strategic reserve and send it to China that hates us, and send some to Europe so it can trickle over to Russia as well. So then you see the date on this, 7/11, which is today. So from last week, the 5th, till today, the 11th, he done went, oh snap, we're running out of, let me go over to the Middle East and ask them to crank up their oil production so they can sell it to us. Somebody make effing sense of this crap. Now go find a Department of Energy official or get somebody that's good at cooking the books on this and ask them how, and stand by and wait on them to tell you what kind of sense this makes. Yeah, that's pretty much all you're gonna get. That's pretty much all you're gonna get. Like I said, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I know I'm smarter than this guy, but he's sitting in the mercy seat. Hopefully not for long. But anyway, U.S. President Cyril Joe will make the case for greater oil production from OPEC nations, but we can't while he capped our oil and stopped the Keystone oil pipeline. I mean, think about that. You tell your old lady in your house to stop cooking. Don't cook no more food. Don't cook no more food. Got all kind of food. Got 2 deep freezers and 2 regular uprights. And you tell her not to cook no food. But then you go to your neighbor across the street and ask them, hey, how much will you charge me for a plate? And can you hurry up with it? And matter of fact, as fast as you can get one, tell you what, I'll take every plate you can get. That's about where we at with this mental hopscotch. Cyril Joe, make the case for greater oil production from OPEC. Who gonna put it to us? They gonna stab it. They gonna put it right in your keister. But he ain't gonna take the hit. The people, the American people is gonna take the hit. To bring down gasoline prices when he meets Gulf leaders in Saudi Arabia next week. White House National Security Advisor Jake the Snake Sullivan said on Monday. Biden leaves Tuesday night, which is tomorrow, on his first visit to the Middle East as president with stops in Israel, the occupied West Bank, and Saudi Arabia on his agenda trip. The trip comes as Biden struggles at home with reading the teleprompter, figuring out where he's at, putting his feet down after he stopped when riding a bicycle, and bringing down gasoline prices that's contributed to a dip in his job approval ratings. He don't have a job approval rating. What are you talking about? Sullivan says members of the Organization of Petroleum and Exporting Countries have the capacity to take further steps to increase oil production despite suggestions from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates that they can barely increase oil production. We will convey our general view that we will believe there needs to be adequate supply in the global market to protect the global economy and to protect the American consumer at the pump. The snake said. And see, experts said White House understands Saudi Arabia is unlikely to move unilaterally and that Riyadh and other Gulf nations lack significant spare capacity. I think the surge in Saudi production seems unlikely. So do I. Ben Cahill, a senior fellow at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Hell, now those are the smart people. Them the smart cookies. The visit comes as Biden faces criticism at home from human rights groups for plans to see Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the de facto leader who the U.S. intelligence community concluded was behind the 2018 murder of Washington Post journalist and political opponent Jamal Khashoggi. Look, Iran is normally number one in state-sponsored terrorism. Okay? Fighting for normally one of the two nations that's blasting each other now. Well, no, they're more on the hacking thing. Iran normally is number one. There's another nation over there that's normally number two. And these people that he's going to ask for this has been strongly holding spot number three for a long time. Again, y'all know my favorite phrase. Don't take my word for it. Do some research. Screw what I say. I'm just a talking head behind an Electro Voice RE20 microphone. In commentary published in the Washington Post late on Saturday, Biden said his aim was to reorient and not rupture relations with a country that's been a U.S. strategic partner for 80 years. Yeah, they ain't know how to get the oil out of the ground. The United States done that for them. What the United States done the wildcatting for them. And what did that get us? It ain't even take 30 years for them to cut our head off. Remember, I was a young boy working as a fuel jockey in the 70s as a teenager. I remember the oil embargoes. Sullivan briefing reporters at the White House said Biden has not expressed regret about previously referring to Saudi Arabia as a pariah for the Khashoggi death. But he got to go hat in hand and ask him for the crank up stuff. Look, the Crown Prince ought to say, Mr. Biden, wouldn't it be smarter for you to take all of those unemployed oil field workers that you put out of work and let them finish your pipeline and uncap the wells you already have dug down there near Nick Taylor so he can shut the hell up about this? I am sick of seeing him in my YouTube feed every week complaining about what everything is going on. Well, guess what, Crown Prince? He ain't gonna do it, and I ain't gonna stop. So you may as well just get used to it. Iran is expected to be discussed on the trip in a region nervous about Tehran's influence. Number one, state-sponsored terrorism. Number one, right there. Y'all think our CIA and NSA, y'all ain't seen nothing. When they talk about, I ain't talking snooping. I'm talking flat out terrorism. Because we all snoop. Hell, freaking Angela Merkel snooped on us when Baracus Minimus was the president and denied it. And then they called and then, okay, yeah, I done it. But what you gonna do to Frau Merkel? I mean, what are you gonna do? Sullivan said the United States believe that, Iran is preparing to provide Russia with up to several hundred drones, including some that are weapons capable for use in its war against Ukraine. Cry havoc and let slip the proxy dogs of war. No, the dogs of proxy war. I jacked it up. The dogs of proxy war. Y'all, that's what I meant to say. Damn, I screwed it up. Oh, well. He said the United States has information that shows Iran is preparing to train Russian forces to use these drones. That's the end of the story, y'all. I'm telling y'all, all this stuff is right in everybody's face. And some people just can't see the forest for the trees or feel the or identify a windstorm for the breeze. I mean, it is what it is, y'all. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Bye.